Today's the 11th, right?
Yeah, today's the 11th. So we're starting into working on our essay over A Raisin in the Sun. And there are two major options for what this essay can look like. And so I kind of did a flow chart here, and you see there are 4 options on the Canvas page for what this can be. We're going to break this down by topic first. So we're going to do 2 different approaches to how we can write this essay, and you get to choose which you're more comfortable with. We want to also be clear on what that choice entails. So there are persuasive options that are there. Now remember, persuasive essays are what you worked on last year. So grading is harder here. The expectation is you've mastered this skill, so you should be able to easily do this. So if you choose here, we're going to expect a better produced product out of what we do here. A thematic essay is more emblematic of what we've been working on this year. It's the next step. So over here, you got to understand grading is going to be a little easier. There's some leniency to it. If it's the second or third time that we're doing this skill versus here, you've done it for a whole year. Yeah, we're going to expect over here, you got it. Over here, we're still working on it. So as we think about that, just be aware. We're really going to expect a good product here. Let's start with the thematic approaches. Since this is more where we should be, let's look at sort of what would this entail. There are 2 different options of questions under our thematic approach. One is a little more directive about what theme you will write about. The other is a little more open. But for both, when we write about a theme, we do have to have an understanding that we have to do 2 things. We have to identify the theme and come up with what we call a thematic statement. So think about love. Love is often a theme in literature. But do different movies portray love in the same way?
No.
They're all different. Sometimes love is that romantic, like boy meets girl and everything works out great. Sometimes boy meets girl and girl's an axe murderer and everything goes terrible. Both talk about love, but they talk about love in very different ways. So when we look at this thematic statement, it's more about what does the work have to say about that theme, and that's what's going to drive our essay. If we're going to write an essay about, for example, dreams here, we need to know what the play has to say about dreams. Are dreams possible? Are they impossible? Are dreams always tied to money? Should dreams be focused on people that we love? Is it more about finding yourself? This gives you the chance to make a statement based on your understanding of the work. And that's the great flexibility that this side gives us. If we're looking at this dreams one, it's a little more of a focused conversation. The essay is going to focus on what does the play have to say about dreams, and who are 2 characters that sort of convey that message. We spent a lot of time looking at what different characters' dreams are. So you're really having to find a commonality between the 2 and then discuss what that meaning is. And the way we discuss it, of course, is through evidence from the play. How do we see that message developed? So if you wanted to say that dreams are about finding yourself, think about how you can use Beneatha to do that. Beneatha has an experience as a kid where she sees that other kid crack his head open, and she thinks about how a doctor can change things. And so she's driven to be a doctor. And in the course of that, she's finding who she is. She's going to college. She's experiencing different things. She's doing that. So here we're pointing to specific evidence from the play to help us to show what their dream is, and then why does it matter? What's that message to it? Now, there are a couple of videos posted about thematic statements. Both walk you through how to write them, and they also give examples from Disney movies. So they're really on point. It's helpful. The second option for thematic ones is a lot more open. In this one, you get to pick a theme. As opposed to here, we're telling you, hey, you got to write about dreams. Here, you get the flexibility to talk about what you understood to be important about the play. These could be ideas like, manhood, family, love. There's lots of different things. This one is a lot more open, and this is probably the tougher essay because it is so open. This really allows you some flexibility to play, but we really have to be clear that this is the one that you've got to have your thinking most together on. Let's move to our persuasive end. Again, we're going to grade these essays a little harsher because we expect you know how to do this. 2 options for the persuasive pieces. 1, who's the most important character in the work and why? This one allows you to argue, why is that character so important? Is it because they drive the meaning? Is it because the story's about them? Is it because they're the most compelling and interesting? This is where you make a definite answer to the question. You tell me why, and then we support it with major reasons. Same thing like any persuasive essay. But we notice that the reasons we're going to give are going to be based still in the evidence from the play. This is going to require you to show what you know about the work. Second option on the persuasive bit, ask about the American dream. Whether the play discusses the American dream in a good way or a bad way. It's still there. This is a definite yes or no question. It kind of leads in a similar way. If you say yes, great. How does it discuss the American dream? If you say no, why does it go against it? These essays are going to have a higher expectation on them, not just for your thinking, but for how clearly you can show your understanding of the work, because they're a lot more surface level. This is going to require you to dig a little bit. Here, this is a little more tangible. You can put your hands on the meaning a lot clearer. So when we're looking, 4 options for how we do this essay, 2 that are a little bit easier, 2 that are going to require you to think a little bit more, 1 requiring a lot more thought from you than the others. Cut this. Whoop.